The Core i3-12300 quad-core Alderlake shines. That sounds funny. Quad-core Alderlake. I wouldn't think you'd put quad-core and Alderlake together, but anyway, go on there.
URCD Keys is the best source for genuine Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys that work the first time, every time. Get 20% off normal prices using our discount code BST for Byte Size Tech and the link in the video description below.
Just over a month ago, Intel pulled the trigger on the rest of its 12th gen Alderlake core desktop processors, adding no fewer than 22 new chips. This significantly fleshed out the Alderlake family, adding in the mid-range and low-end chips that weren't part of Intel's original high-end focused launch. So you can have your quad-core Alderlake chip if you want. The new i3s.
Intel first launched their Core 2 Quad CPUs in 2007.
2007.
That was 15 years ago. Can 4-core chips die, please? This is absurd. Now, to be fair, these are much faster on a per-core, per-clock basis than those chips. They're much faster. This is kind of a cool series of benchmarks because they included the i7-2600K, which was one of the most popular quad-core chips of the past 10 years. Actually, 11 years ago, launched in January of 2011. 4 cores, 8 threads. But here's the thing. That was then. If you look at the games they test, they typically tested games here that don't want more cores. So of course the benchmark results looked okay. This is the most, I'm sorry, this is the most pointless freaking review ever. Because, okay, they tested what works. But I read this. I didn't see anything in here that truly acknowledged a key point. If you're playing older games, your 4-core chip will work, but so will your 5-year-old 4-core chip. They tested GTA 5. GTA 5 launched in 2013. Of course it runs on a 4-core chip. No kidding. They tested World of Tanks. Okay, yes, it runs on 4 cores. But it doesn't need an Alderlake chip. Good God. Sorry.
Tell say real, Phil.
Nobody who cares about the difference between 200 frames per second and 300 frames per second is running a 4-core chip in 2022. And if you are, you're an idiot.
Don't be a bloody idiot.
Don't be a freaking bloody idiot. This is the stupidest, dumbest thing ever.
Don't run 4 cores.
You know,
And
I mean,
it's- and
okay, here's Final Fantasy XIV. What year do you think Final Fantasy... Look up Final Fantasy XIV. What year do you think it came out?
Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, what year do you think Final Fantasy XIV came out?
Final Fantasy 14.
Scroll down, it'll be on the right-hand side.
2013.
Look, okay, good God. Guess what? It runs great. Hey, look at this. 167 frames per second. By the way, they used a 2080 Ti for these tests.
2080 Ti.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, who's putting a 2080 Ti on this? If you are, just don't. You know, and of course, obviously, the higher core count chips are faster, but that's, you know, not by a lot, not enough to matter. How about we come all the way down here to a 6700K? Okay, 153 versus 167. The 6700K launched 7 years ago. This should have been eviscerated, and it wasn't. This is a puff piece. Why haven't I reviewed this? Because I'd rip it to shreds and say anybody who buys this is an idiot. Tech, you don't understand. People are on budgets and they can't afford stuff. Great! Don't upgrade your computer. 7 frickin' years ago, you can buy budget 4-core chips that are way cheaper than this, that are way more available than this, and you could have done it years and years and years ago. Mm-hmm. This is absurd in 2022. Yes, 167 is faster than 153. Anybody who uses this chart to say, but you see, look, look, it even beats the 8-core Rocket Lake chip. Anybody who says this is important is either a bloody idiot or is being pedantic, or they're just stirring up crap. It is a irrelevant, bloody argument. These numbers are meaningless. These are so utterly irrelevant in terms of being different. Let's come down here to World of Tanks.
1080p.
396 frames a second versus 286 frames per second. Now, this CPU overclocks nicely. This one, less so. Anybody who actually still has one of these things, hopefully at this point is running it overclocked. But even if you're not, 286 versus 300, I mean, okay, yeah, wow, 100 frames per second faster. That's impressive. Okay. So a 5600X runs it at 514. You do know these numbers are meaningless, right? Where's the other one? Where's GTA 5? There's look how, I mean, that's a GPU. Even at 1080p, look how little difference there is. 98 to 110. Yeah, I mean, if that doesn't tell you how utterly silly this is, I can't begin to describe how utterly silly this is.
Far Cry.
I mean...
An Ultra.
Yeah, it beats... Where's GTF? Oh, good God.
1080p. Oh, Lucy 11700 beats it. Oh, it beats the i5 11600. Okay. Ew.
Have I made my point?
I think you've made your point. It's dead, Jim.
If you're playing games and there are lots of games that run on 4 cores. But if you're playing games that run on 4 cores, you don't need a new computer. Your 6700K is fine.
Keep going with it.
Your Ryzen 3 3100 is fine. Your insert whatever. Sweetie?
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2, 1080p.
One thing I will say. Built-in benchmarks are built-in benchmarks.
5800X? Hell no. I'm not giving up my...
Anybody who would play Red Dead Redemption 2 on an i3-12, if you want to know what is wrong with benchmarks and why benchmarks lie to you, raise your hand if all else were equal, if the price were the same, if they were both in front of you. Would you play Red Dead Redemption 2? Not run the benchmark, play the game. Would you play Red Dead Redemption 2 on an i3-12100, or... Actually, they tested the i3-12300, but that's dumb. It should be the i3-12100. Or a Ryzen 7 5800X. I'm going to make that a poll question.
Yeah, go on then.
Which would you rather play Red Dead Redemption 2 on? i3-12, I'll just say 300 because that's what they tested, or a Ryzen 7 5800X. Assume both PCs are the same price. Now, after I just gave that eviscerating speech, if any of you say i3, I'm going to throw them out.
No Tim Tams for you.
I just can't even.
I know. Let's see. Danvera, thank you. He said, I'd like a 12-350, 4+8 for file servers, nothing more. So. And
That's
Ronald,
a specialty installation.
It is.
Nobody watching tech YouTube channels cares. And they certainly shouldn't be looking at gaming benchmarks.
Give me a PlayStation before a quad core i3. And then Ronald has a question. How is anyone voting for i3? People do. 376.
They ran multiple versions of Cinebench. Hang on, let me come down here to the new Cinebench. Where is Cinebench? Did they put Cinebench on? Where is Cinebench?
Is it there?
I'm looking.
Blender.
There's Blender.
There's Blender.
Crisis. But will it run Crisis? Here's Cinebench. Okay. Honey, what do you see in that? I want you to give Rogue's perspective.
The 12600K 730. The i3 beats the Ryzen 7. The 11700K. The 5600X.
This is single core performance.
It's saying that an i3 does really, really good 4 cores, 8 threads against a whole bunch of 8 core, 6 core thread chips.
It beats the Ryzen 7 5800X.
Yeah. And the 11700 and the 11600 and the 5600G.
Well, sure, because it's Alderlake cores. Alderlake cores are the fastest available cores.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
You notice that Zen 3 chips beat Rocket Lake chips?
I do see that.
Of course, this test traditionally favors AMD, but putting that issue aside, and then you notice that, you know, even the Zen APUs beat the older chips. You notice down here we've got Zen 2, and then it's like there's a decent gap here. Let's come down to multi-threaded. Oh, no. What happened?
The RSN fell out of that real quick, didn't it?
Let's see here. i3, 3200 versus 5800. Huh.
32, yeah.
Notice even the Zen 2 3600 beats it, although not by much. Now that's R20. If we come down to R23, that's even closer. They didn't test all the CPUs though. They don't have a test for the 6700K. Big surprise. The 8-core 5800X is almost twice the speed of the 4-core. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
And the 10-core wins.
Yeah, funny that.
Because that's
a proper chart.
Because that's how things work.
All right.
Hang on, let me go end the poll.
Ronald has a question.
8% of our chuckleheads.
Yes, that's what chat said. Oh, Kevin, thank you. 11 months as a Dear Nation member. Hello there, Tech Fam. Love you. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that, mate.
URCD Keys is the best source for genuine Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys that work the first time, every time. Get 20% off normal prices using our discount code BST for Byte Size Tech and the link in the video description below. $15 gets you a Windows 10 Professional OEM key that is a real product key, activates directly with Microsoft, use it forever as it links to your Microsoft account and it works through reinstalls. Get a full copy of Office 2019 Professional Plus for about $50 that redeems at setup.office.com using your Microsoft account. It also works forever through reinstalls. We have been using URCD keys for almost 3 years now and recommend you do so as well.